This was the craziest part of the whole experiment. So what if an eye took care of all my decisions for an entire week? Let's do it. Here's what happened when I asked I to run my life for 7 days. First, I had to explain to the eye what my life looked like. I gave it the rules. It will make all the choices from my schedule, meals, workouts, work tasks, pretty much everything. After that, I showed it how to make prompts. I also set some limitations. For example, I don't want to spend more than $15 on food. Okay, seems simple enough. But would I actually follow this thing's advice? Well, here's how day 1 went. It started like any other day. I got up at a.m. and did my morning routine. But then it was decision time. Should I go to the gym first or take a cold shower? The app said go to the gym, so I did. Then it suggested a cold shower after because, quote, it can improve circulation. Weird logic, but okay. Before I knew it, I was doing things I wouldn't normally do, like switching my workout clothes before my shower. And it wasn't just physical stuff. The eye even told me to be nice to strangers. To be honest, it felt like someone was controlling me. Like when it asked me to order chicken wings and spaghetti with extra cheese for lunch, it made me eat this for breakfast. But hey, maybe it was trying to balance out the carb load. Anyway, after a day of following its plan, I gotta say it was both exciting and weird. I mean, 1 minute it tells me to try a new protein shake, the next it has me taking a cold shower at midnight. I was excited about some of the ideas, but it was hard to know if they were actually useful until I tried them. By the end of the day, I was exhausted mentally. I wonder if it was all the decision making or just being told what to do every 2 minutes. Either way, I felt like I was back in high school again. Decisions, decisions. On day 2, it continued with the same intensity. It made me wake up earlier, start with a strict 10-minute stretching routine, and immediately dive into work. Apparently, this was supposed to boost my productivity. As a content creator, I normally have a lot of downtime between tasks, but with the eye by my side, there were no breaks. It pushed me to do intense workouts and try new supplements like creatine. Plus, it had me eating weird food combos like almond milk with cottage cheese. But hey, maybe those are the kinds of things a super smart program would come up with. I thought it might be helpful for work since I is supposedly great at writing and generating ideas. So I had it help me write scripts, come up with titles, and even suggest some cool animations. It was kind of like having an intern who never sleeps, but also not very good at understanding the emotional context of things. Later, it made me take a 30-minute break to watch a motivational video. And when I got back to work, it suggested starting with a bang. It told me to take a shot of espresso, which I did. Then it had me start my next task, which was a huge sigh of relief. Sometimes it offered tips that were actually useful. Like when I was writing and feeling stuck, it suggested using the Pomodoro method or blocking out distractions. It's funny because those are things I already knew and probably wouldn't have done if I wasn't testing this app. But the real test came when it told me to try deep work for 2 hours. That's something I've been wanting to do, but I usually procrastinate. With the eye watching over me, I followed through and it was tough. It felt like a month, but in reality, it was only 2 hours. And guess what? It worked. I was able to focus better and get more done. But it wasn't all sunshine and rainbows. There were definitely some awkward moments. Like when I was hanging out with friends and it suggested I bring up a random topic like quantum physics or have a deep conversation about our childhood dreams. It was weird because I didn't know how to talk about those things off the top of my head. But maybe that's where the real test was. Could I trust this with my social life? I was surprised when it started suggesting some unusual self-care routines like getting a foot massage and lighting candles while listening to Mozart. I mean, hey, why not? But later, it started getting weirder. Like it wanted me to sleep at PM every night. Seriously, should I let I decide when I sleep? As the days passed, I noticed that the eye kept upping the ante. It was like it wanted to see if I could handle it. By day 5, it was getting weird. Really weird. At first, it had me doing stuff like jumping jacks during commercial breaks and taking vitamins based on my mood. Then it started making me do weird combinations of exercises like push-ups and yoga poses. It was almost like it was trying to break me. But somehow I made it through the day without losing my mind. That is until I sat down to dinner. It told me to order spicy tuna and seaweed salad, which I don't like. Then it had me eat it with chopsticks while meditating. To be honest, it felt like I was in some kind of weird social experiment. Was it trying to push me to my limits? One thing I noticed was that the AI seemed to know a lot about productivity and science-based methods like the Pomodoro technique. It also seemed to have access to endless information, which was helpful for things like brainstorming. But it was missing something. Like when it suggested I meditate at PM right before a big deadline, it didn't seem to understand the emotional impact of its suggestions. Like I was stressed and rushing to finish my work, not exactly the best time for a relaxing session. I wondered if it was purposely trying to mess with me or if it just didn't understand human emotions. Then came the ultimate test, the final showdown. The AI had me face my biggest fear head-on, public speaking. It wanted me to get up in front of a group of people and deliver a speech on a controversial topic. Talk about throwing me into the deep end. But here's the crazy part. It had me practice this speech in front of a mirror, analyze my body language, and time my delivery. Usually, I would freeze up and panic at the thought of this. But for some reason, I followed its plan and it worked. I managed to give a speech without completely bombing. The biggest thing I learned during this week was how much effort goes into everyday decisions. It's exhausting. The AI handled most of it for me, and I have to admit it saved me time, especially with work. It came up with some cool ideas and helped me organize my thoughts, but the whole experience left me with mixed feelings. On one hand, I liked the idea of not having to think about what to eat or wear every day. It was nice having someone else take charge. On the other hand, it felt like the AI was pushing me too hard, like it wanted to see if I could handle it. Some of its suggestions were just plain weird, like forcing me to eat certain foods or do bizarre workout routines. Overall, I'd give this whole AI life experiment a score of 6 out of 10. It was interesting, but I missed the freedom to make my own choices. I wonder if other people would have the same experience. Maybe some would love it, others would hate it. And now here's the tech review part. How good is the current AI at handling life management? I'd say it's okay, but not perfect. It knows a lot about productivity and science-based methods, but it lacks emotional intelligence. It doesn't understand when to push and when to pull back. It's like asking a robot to coach you through life. It can give you advice, but it can't read your emotions or offer support when you need it. So here's the question I want you guys to answer. Would you let AI run your life for a week? Go ahead and comment below. Also, if you made it this far, chances are you like nerdy stuff and tech stories. So hit that like button. And don't forget to subscribe for more fun experiments. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.